Have you ever said to yourself, someday I'm going to lose weight, but still eat poutine? Welcome to Make Your Someday Today. This is episode 8, and I am so excited that you're here today. We're going to be talking to another one of my friends from Lose It. Steve Grant is a moderator on Lose It, just like I am. He started as a very active participant, just helping everybody in general, and eventually we invited him to be a moderator with us. Steve is a fantastic friend from Canada. He has a life story that we can all relate to, and I'm really excited that he's here to share it with us. Before we get to him, though, I want to just give a couple shout-outs right away to a couple new reviewers. Andrew Carpenter says, Trevor Lorene's Make Your Someday Today provides an intelligent message in an inspiring manner. Trevor and his guests will help you understand what you can do today to start achieving your most important goals. On iTunes, somebody with the handle 102289 says, Trevor is legit. Informative, inspiring, and actionable advice for the average Joe. If you're not listening, you're not living your life to the fullest. And LLR1 says, great source of inspiration and motivation. I don't know Trevor personally, but I have interacted with him a few times within the Lose It community over the last 2 years. I listened to his first 2 podcasts today on a lunchtime walk, and I wanted to keep walking so I could keep listening. His tell it like it is style is refreshing. He's funny, and his story is truly inspiring. I can't wait to start listening to the interviews on my next walk. He will definitely help inspire you to keep working or to start working hard to reach your goals. I love getting these kind of reviews. They really validate what I'm trying to do for all of you and for myself. Because even though I'm at goal weight, every day I keep myself on track. I am not quitting. And I'm setting new goals. This podcast is a new goal, and I'm working hard to make this new goal a new reality. You listeners, with your reviews, are helping me achieve that goal. If you haven't gone out to iTunes yet, please do me a favor and go out there and give me an honest rating and a review. I'd really appreciate that. If you're listening on Stitcher, same thing. Go out to Stitcher and leave me a rating and a review there. Or you can make a comment on my website, makeyoursometodaytoday.com. Anytime you give me your thoughts, I thank you completely. But now, let's talk to Steve. Well, I'd like to welcome a new guest to the podcast today. We have Steve Grant joining us from Quebec, and he's going to present some of his experiences in life, his successes, his challenges, and basically just kind of tell us how he has succeeded, and maybe we can learn some lessons from his experiences. So, Steve, why don't you give all the listeners a biography of yourself? Who are you? What do you do? How did you get where you are?
Well, hi, Trevor, and thanks for thanks for having me. As you said, my name is Steve Grant. I'm French Canadian, so I do have a French accent. The accent that you're hearing is French, and you'll find probably throughout the podcast that sometimes I'm looking for words. And that's I apologize in advance for that if I do it. Just a fair warning. I'm 45 years old. I've been married for almost 25 years. My wife's a teacher, and we got married just a little bit before going to university. We both live in Quebec City with our 17-year-old son and our 130-pound Rhodesian Ridgeback named Sherlock. Professionally, I've been working in IT for the past 20 plus year. I'm currently managing a team of software developers, and I do mainly web stuff, Java, ASP.NET, and on the fun side, I'm an amateur photographer. I'm artistically challenged, but I do enjoy the process of taking photos and modifying them in Lightroom and Photoshop, and part of the other thing that I'm doing currently that I really enjoy is that I'm a volunteer moderator on Lose It, where that's where I met you, Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I'm here to talk about pretty much my journey about weight loss so far. Started this in January 2013, the 7th of January of last year, basically, and made some changes in my life to get where I am today. And that's pretty much my introduction.
Excellent. Thank you. And you are going to be probably the exemplar of the person that I'm talking to. Quote an average Joe. Nothing, no insult intended, but you're just like everybody else.
Absolutely.
And that's what's important. You are like everybody else, and you have succeeded. So tell us about your weight journey and the successes you've attained on that journey. Because weight loss, for people that think that this is a temporary journey, weight loss is forever. So what have you succeeded in so far?
Well, I think the major thing that I've succeeded is having an understanding of what weight loss is about. I've been first of all, for me, weight loss is not about diet. It's definitely not about diet. I've been dieting for the past, I don't know, maybe 15 years. Starting every January, I'd start a new diet. So it could be whatever new plan there was out there, and I was able to do it for maybe 2 months. I'd be eating an insanely low amount of calories, and I'd have headaches, backaches. I was tired. I was really not feeling good. And then as soon as I would change my eating habits, eat a little bit more, then I'd gain a little bit of weight and get discouraged, abandon, and then gain all the weight back. And I've been doing that for the past 15 or so years. And this time around, last year when I started, I really decided to learn about what weight loss was about, because I've been unsuccessful for the past 15 years. And this is really what changed this time. I decided to learn what was weight loss all about. So I decided to join the Lose It forum community, and I've basically been reading. I've read a lot of great information on the forum, and understood that diet was not about not diet, but weight loss was not about dieting, but really about life changes that you're gonna have to maintain for the rest of your life. So what I'm doing today is something that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life.
Excellent. Why did you choose Lose It, by the way? Because there are many options out there to help you on this goal, but why Lose It?
Um, I hesitated between a couple of other programs. Sincerely what attracted me to Lose It was the fact that it didn't have any ads in it. I hate it when I go to see when I'm checking an application or website that is health related, and then I'm seeing all those ads pop up
Mm-hmm.
for diet pills and diet things and do this and the 10 best ingredients to burn fat or lose weight on your ankles by eating this new secret thing. And lose it didn't have that. So that's the only reason why I chose Lose It at first. I decided to stay with Lose It because of the forum community, because there's so many people over there that are really generous with their time and their answers, and I've learned so much. So that's why I stick with Lose It. But the initial reason why I went for Lose It, because there's no ads.
All right. And total disclaimer here, you already mentioned that you're a voluntary moderator for the forums, as am I. That's how we met each other.
Yep.
Totally voluntary. We spend a fair amount of time giving to Lose It, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we do.
It almost becomes a second job.
Sometimes it feels like that, yes, but it's fun.
But it is fun, and to be honest, I enjoy helping somebody else have that aha moment like you had.
Yeah, my first aha moment I had was uh, actually the first time I went on to lose it. It was really, I had a stupid question. Well, not as stupid, but today I know it's not a good question. But basically, when you set up your plan on lose it, you can put how many pounds you want to lose every week, and the maximum you can put there is 2 pounds a week. And for whatever reason, I wanted to put 4 pounds a week. I had back then I had about 75 pounds to lose, and I just wanted to lose all the pounds as fast as possible. So I said, well, on some TV shows I see people losing more than 4 pounds, and there's sometimes they lose like 10 or 15 pounds a week or something like that. So I said I could do 4 pounds. I mean, I'm better than everyone else. I could do 4 pounds. So the first question I wanted to ask was how can I change the program so I can put 4 pounds per week that I want to lose? And fortunately, before asking that question, I saw one of the threads that was created by Barb, another moderator over there, and it was about BMR, your basal metabolic rate,
Yes.
and she ex- explains it in her first post most concisely how it works, and you should be eating, like, there's some math involved in it. It's really simple, but you should be eating a minimum of calories every day because basically that's what your body needs to burn, just living, breathing. And that was my haha moment when I understood what BMR was all about, and then I moved forward and I understood as I progressed, I understood more and more. But that was my haha moment, and that's when I realized all the errors that I was making in the past. Because in the past, just as an example, when I started on Lose It, I was on I think 2,200 calories a day when I started losing truly with calculating my BMR and like doing it correctly. In the past 15 years when I was starting my diets, I'd be eating. I'm guessing. I'm from my what I remember. I'd be eating around maybe 600, 800 calories. So
Wow.
obviously I was starving, and I was hungry, and it didn't work. Once I've understood everything about BMR and how it worked and the concept of behind lose it, then everything made a lot of sense. Of course, I didn't think I could lose weight by eating that many calories. But in fact, it worked because I've lost 52 pounds since January of last
Fantastic.
year.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, okay, so you mentioned some of the yo-yoing that you've had in the past and the challenges with all the previous diets, which were essentially ultra low calorie and non-sustainable.
Exactly.
And now you've mentioned your successes over the past year, which is awesome. I'm so excited when I hear people succeed like that. But my guess is over the past 13 months, you've had some challenges yet. That it has not been a perfect straight line down. That you've had weeks where you've stumbled or had hiccups. So what are some of the challenges that you faced, and how did you get past those?
Um, yeah, I did it. Well, the I think for me the hardest part was the first 3 months. Especially the first one is always easy because it's all new and you put in all your new habits and you're all going, oh, it's going great because it's like the honeymoon phase, like everything don't have any problems, you're logging, you're doing everything correctly. And then the second month comes in, and then you lose a little bit of your, not your resolve, but it's your daily routine comes in a little bit, and then some of the bad habits come back in. Um, so for me, that the first 3 months have been the most challenging.
Mm-hmm.
What the way I managed to go through those first few months is really because I could see weekly how much weight I was losing, and I could see it was working. Even if a week I didn't lose, like I wasn't losing a fixed amount of weight every week. It varies. Sometimes it was half a pound, sometimes it was 2 pounds, sometimes 1 pound. It varied. Even there's a week where I gained some weight. But once I've understood and I trusted that it worked, uh, it 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 really was simple for me. Um, the uh, the challenge that I had to face was knowing when I'm hungry and when I'm really not hungry, but I just want to eat something. Um, I found out that I eat in different when I don't need to. I eat in different situations where I really don't need to, and that's when I'm stressed, when I'm mad or frustrated about something, or when I'm bored. So I had to identify these triggers, if you want, and
Mm-hmm.
then find a solution for them. So those were my challenges, really finding those the triggers that made me eat for no reason at all.
So to summarize, you actually had two different types of challenges. The first one was just in the first, not the first month, but the second and third month when routine set in and it became just another thing that you had to do, and you started to slip into bad habits, which I would imagine everybody has experienced. And the second challenge was discovering
Mainly finding my triggers.
discovering your triggers, and you found that one of your triggers is your emotions, either the negative emotions, the anger and frustration, or the absence, the boredom. And
Yep.
again, I'm betting that everybody who's listening to this, who has joined this journey, has those same things. People who say, "Huh, it's 5 p.m. I must be hungry now," without really being hungry. They look at the clock, and the clock says, "You need to eat." It's a habit.
Yeah, exactly. It's a habit, and those are hard to break.
Yes. Excellent.
And one of the things that I did to whenever I felt that, like, to break not to break those habits or make sure that I wouldn't eat, I usually it's a tip really. Whenever I felt like eating something and I knew I wasn't hungry because it's really one of my triggers, I would drink water or
Mm-hmm.
tea. So I pretty much always carry a bottle of water with me everywhere I go. And if I need, like, if I work at the computer and I need to do something, instead of grabbing a bite of something, I just drink water or I drink tea, and that replaces my habit. It's no calories, so it replaces my habit and it just helps me out.
Excellent. That's a great piece of advice. Speaking of pieces of advice, that kind of leads me to my next idea. If somebody came up to you and said, Steve, make me like you, make me as good as you, what is the number one lesson you'd want to teach that person?
Number one lesson to teach. Number one lesson. Um, the first thing. Um, this is not if and that and we're talking about weight loss, right?
We're talking about anything that you feel to be important. What would
Oh,
to make a person successful in any field, in anything, what would you want to teach that person?
um, you have to invest yourself in it. You can't just, if you really want to do something, you you have to invest. You have to take the time to learn it, to do your due diligence, and really invest time and energy in it. If you really want it to be successful, you can't just try something and then hope it's going to work. You have to invest yourself in it.
Nice. Exactly. Don't dabble. If you want to do something, go for it or don't, right?
Exactly.
Sweet. I like that. Um, everybody seems to have a bucket list, and I'm hoping everybody that I talk to has. What is one thing you really would like to cross off your bucket list this year?
That I really want to cross off. I'd like to reach my goal weight, which is, for me, really, it's not a goal weight. It's kind of a milestone, and I'm reevaluating this goal every 10 pounds now, because I'm about 25 pounds away from my goal. I imagine I'm away. I imagine my goal about being 173 pounds. I'm currently at 196. So I'm about 23 pounds away from my goal, and I'd like to reach it. But mainly, I'd like to go into my maintenance mode, where I don't have to lose weight anymore. I'd like it to be this year. I'm not sure it's going to be this year. I'm not really. I'm just doing the things I know that will help me reach this goal. I don't know exactly when I'm going to reach it, but I'd like it for it to be this year. I think that's my main focus right now. Weight loss. That's my main one. I think that's my main one this year.
Good. Excellent. And I am confident that with your ability to focus, you will achieve your goal. I just believe that.
I think I can. But then again, like I said, for me, the time, I don't put any time for that goal, because I know my body's going to shed the weight as it wants to. I mean, the only thing I can do is control what I eat, how much training I do, but the weight, I don't have any control on that.
And that's a very realistic way of looking at it. Frequently, when you set a goal for anything, you should always have a deadline, a date in mind. But sometimes some things are not date dependent, and I think weight loss is not. You can't control how fast you can influence.
Yeah, and that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. For me, I cannot put any dates, and almost any project that I start, I always have a start date, end date, and then I put in some measures in it, and then I do stuff, but I have an end date for weight loss. And this was really, it's kind of a different thing for me, because I'm usually really goal oriented with time frame, and this time I'm goal oriented but no time frame, which is kind of strange for me. But really, weight loss is, you can't set a date.
Right. I'm not sure. I'm a big reader. I've always liked reading books. Is there a book that you've read that has been a major influence that you keep going back to for motivation, inspiration, or just general meaning in life?
I don't. I read books most of the times. When I read something, I'm I'm a technical guy. I enjoy reading technical stuff, so I enjoy reading programming books and stuff like that.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm also a training video watcher, so I enjoy watching training videos. With I currently I'm dabbling in Photoshop. I enjoy the process of playing with photos, so I'm watching videos on explaining how to do that. So I'm really, whenever I read or I watch something, maybe it's bad, but it has to be somewhat productive. It's kind of strange. So I'd say that the book that has changed me the most, maybe not changed, but the one that I've been basing a lot of my life stuff on was getting things done by what is it, David Allen? Can't remember his name. And then again, it's basically a process where you manage to prioritize stuff in your life so you can get them done. But other than that, I'm not really a big. I'm gonna watch people that are inspiring. I'm gonna enjoy listening to people that are inspiring, but reading, not so much.
And that's perfectly fine. That's an excellent book, though. Learning how to set priorities is a key to success. It's So all too often, I find that people create huge lists of things that need to be done. And then they're like, so what do I do? How do I get started?
Yeah.
And that actually happened to me in the process of creating this podcast. I had this list that was enormous, and I was having a hard time prioritizing. And finally, I went to my mentor and just said, what do I do? And it's like one thing at a time. Just get one thing done. And so that's a very good book, and I will endeavor to find a link for that in Amazon and include that in the show notes so that people can take a look at that book, and maybe that'll help them prioritize their life and stay on track.
Yeah.
Do you have a key quote, a quote that you like to keep in mind to keep you on track?
Well, I have two quotes actually, and one of them I just don't want to mess it up, so I wrote it down.
That's fine.
And the first one is my first quote really is about weight loss, and that's to tell everyone it's not a sprint. Weight loss is not a sprint. It's a marathon, and it's a lifelong marathon. It's something that you're going to do for the rest of your life. So don't sprint it. Don't do extreme stuff. You have to do stuff that you're going to be able to do for the rest of your life. So it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's really a lifelong marathon. And the other one is it's maybe a more funnier one, but really it's I truly believe in that, and it's a quote by Yoda in Star Wars, and when he says to Luke, when he's trying to move around the aircraft, it's do or do not. There is no try. So really, when you want to do something, don't try it, do it, invest in it, really do it.
Excellent.
So those are my two quotes.
Great pieces of advice. Well, if you're not aware, or if the listeners are not aware, this podcast was the next evolution of my original blog. And my blog was very heavy on food. I love food. That's why I got to the weight I got to. But I still like eating good food. So my blog was a food blog. So I have to ask some food-related questions just because it is such a part of everybody's life. So, Steve, when you're having a bad day at work, when everybody wants everything all at once and the computers are crashing and you have a flat tire and the dog bites you and that's a big dog, so it's going to be a big bite, what comfort food do you need to just relax and be soothed?
Actually, I'm going to resist that now. But in the past, it would have been something like ice cream.
Okay.
But I'm really going to resist that today. I don't want to soothe out with food. I'm going to usually today I'm going to take tea or
right.
something like that. I really don't want to soothe out or calm down with food.
All right, that's good. That's a good choice to resist the idea of using food to emotionally heal yourself. That's excellent. Yeah. Now, do you have a food kryptonite? A food where if you get started, watch out, it's gone.
Yeah, that's chips, potato chips. Since I've started my journey, I haven't changed the things that I eat. I eat exactly the same thing that I ate in the past, except I eat different quantities. I'm still eating ice cream, chocolate, name it, French fries, Big Macs. I do that, but in different quantities and not as frequently. So if I decide to eat a Big Mac, I'm gonna eat maybe a Big Mac once every 2 months or something like that. It's all about calories, and it's all about the quantities for me. The only thing that I haven't eaten is potato chips because they pack a high caloric punch, and just a handful doesn't satisfy me. I'm going to eat the whole bag, and the whole bag is like, I don't know, maybe 1,500 calories. So that's way too much. So that's my food kryptonite, and that's the only thing I haven't eaten. And I didn't eat it because I could have. It's just that a handful just doesn't satisfy me, so I just prefer to not eat it at all.
Now, you surprised me because I almost thought you were going to go, and please forgive my pronunciation, Poutine?
Poutine.
I thought you were going to go there.
Actually, poutine is good.
So make sure, because many people don't know what we're talking about.
Want me to describe what that is? Okay, poutine is it's a Quebec dish. It's French fries with cheese curds and brown gravy sauce. Done correctly, it's awesome. It's really it's junk food for sure, but it's really tasty. It's really good. It's salty. It's fattening. it's all that good stuff. So yeah, poutine is probably my second kryptonite.
Well,
but I do have some once in a while.
When I next go to Canada and I go to Quebec, I will look you up and you'll take me to the best poutine place in town, and I need to experience this myself because I've read you guys talking about it, and now I'm curious because I live in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin, I don't know how much you're aware of Wisconsin, but by law, we're required to have a lot of cheese on hand at all times, and cheese curds are a way of life in Wisconsin. So you're combining French fries and cheese curds with gravy? Come on. How can it not be delicious?
Yeah. It's good.
I've got one last question for you. And again, it's food related. If somebody comes up to you and says, Steve, what would you like for your last meal? What are you going to have?
I'm gonna. I don't eat fish, but I love sushi, vegetarian sushi, and the one that I love the most is tempura. It's in French. It's called veggie tempura sushi, and I get that with in a bowl of with soy sauce and half soy sauce and lemon juice.
Okay.
And that's probably my favorite meal.
Excellent.
That'd be the last meal I'd want to have.
Nice. Well, that's about all I've got for you, Steve. Is there anything last that you'd like to just, if maybe something I didn't think of asking and you wanted to tell me, what is there anything else you want to mention to my listeners?
I think we've pretty much covered everything. I mean, hey, to your listeners, whatever they want to do, whatever they thrive to do, just don't try it. Go for it. Go for it all the way.
Excellent.
That's it.
Well, Steve Grant, thank you very much for joining us on this show. I am very honored to be a moderator with you and to have met you, and hope that other people meet you the same way. This was a nice morning. It was nice talking with you, sir.
It was really nice, and thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a fantastic interview with Steve. I'm so excited that he was able to join us and share his time, his thoughts with us. I hope his story inspires you to take action toward your goals. Take it day by day, set yourself some goals, and you can do it. I believe in you. I really do. So, I'll be back on Thursday with another booster for this. Come back then. Subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't have to worry about finding it. It'll just automatically come to your machine. And then go out to iTunes and Stitcher and leave me a rating and review. That's really, really important. That's what will keep this podcast growing. Thanks a lot for listening. I'm really glad that you're here. Have a great day and make your someday today.